I am calling from CM Webs. Today I am with Amy G. from the Carthage Public Library here in Carthage, Illinois. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you, Colin.
And we all know that you are the librarian/director of the Carthage Public Library. So can you tell us a little bit about your job?
Well, there are lots of different tasks involved in working in a library. Most people realize that we check books in and out for people, and then, of course, we have to put them back on the shelf. But there are other things also. We help people find answers to questions. We help them use the computers, make copies, send faxes. We do a lot of interlibrary loans, so we do a lot of processing books in and out for that. We purchase new materials and need to process them to get them ready to be checked out. And of course, we have lots of different programs, and so that involves a lot of planning and publicity. And so I do help some with all of that, but my main duties are administrative. So I schedule the other workers, I do the payroll, I pay the bills, I maintain the budget. I make sure that we're following all of the legal requirements that we have for filing ordinances and things, follow the regulations from the state library and our library system. I attend lots of community meetings. I work with our board of trustees and the Friends of the Library and the Library Foundation. So there are just lots of different duties involved.
How many people work at this library?
I am the only full-time person. We also have 7 other staff members and a janitor.
Has the library changed over the many years you have worked here?
Definitely. I started working in 1992, so it's been over 30 years. When I started, computers were new. The library had 2 computers they had just gotten. One was an Apple IIe that I used to make flyers for programs, and the library director had an IBM that she could use for word processing. But most things were not done by computer. We had a physical card catalog. It was a cabinet full of drawers. Each drawer was full of cards, and so you could look up a book by the author, title, subject. We had cards for all of those. So when we got new books, we had to make cards for each of those and file all of those. For checking out materials, each book had its own card in it, and we had a special machine. We could put the patron's library card in it and put this card in it, and it would punch their card number and the date due. And so then afterwards, at the end of the day, we would have to count and file and sort all of those to get our statistics. And then when a book was returned, we had to look through the cards to find the right one to put back in the book. So computers and technology have definitely changed the way we do things day to day. But the overall goal, the overall mission of the library is the same. We want to serve our community. We provide a place where people can come and sit and read or study, or to meet other people and interact with the community. We want to help children learn to read and encourage a love of reading for all ages. And so that's why we have books of all types. But now, of course, we also have books not only in large print, but we have ebooks and audiobooks. So the formats change. We want to help people find information. Maybe the information can be found in a book. Maybe we look on the internet, but we help people find the information they're looking for. We encourage lifelong learning. We have lots of different programs to encourage reading and people to continue reading and to continue learning throughout their life. And so all of those things, the way we do them have changed, but the reasons behind them have not. We want to serve our community.
So we know you have a board. Can you tell us about the people in the board?
Okay, so we used to be a city library, but in about 1989-90, we changed to a district library. And so we serve the entire Carthage Elementary School District. We have a 7-member board of trustees. They are elected, but it is a voluntary position. They do not get paid. So currently on the board, John Dittmer is our president. Sarah Talley is the vice president. Vicki Livingston is the secretary. Andy Bostert is the treasurer. And then other board members are Rose Fisher, Rebecca Egan, and Ann Thompson.
Where will your new facility be located and how big will it be?
Okay, so we are planning to build a new library. Prairie Land Investment Group donated property for us on the north side of their campus. So it will be on 1st and Center Street north of the Dollar General.
And how big will it be?
So it will be 10,600 square feet. It will be all one level, so that eliminates the need and the expense for the elevator. It will have the HVAC system will be more up to date and energy efficient. We'll have electrical outlets throughout. It will be designed to be a library, so we will think about the patron flow. We will think about the ease of supervision for the staff members behind the desk. And we're especially excited that we will have 2 study rooms, and we will have a large room that we can use for our programs, but can also be used by community members. And there will be green space, so we could have some outdoor programs as well.
Oh, and how is this process being done by getting a new library?
Okay, so the funding process, when we moved into this building and remodeled it in 2006, originally we had thought that at some point we would renovate the second floor and use the entire building. But we worked with a building consultant and an architect, and since this elevator is too small, we would have to have a completely new elevator, new shaft, everything. Other requirements would be for another stairway, and it has to be an enclosed, fire resistant. There's all sorts of regulations for that. And so just with those 2 items, it would be very expensive, besides all of the remodeling we would want to do upstairs to open it up into larger spaces. And so they concluded that it would be more cost effective to build a new library all on one level, designed to be a library, than to try to fix up this older building with the problems that it already has. So Prairie Land Investment Group donated the property to us. We worked with an architect to make the plans. We applied for a Public Library Construction Act grant. Originally, the entire project was estimated to be $2.5 million, and the grant would have covered a little more than half of that. It did require a local cost share, so the voters approved a $1.2 million bond issue, and so that secured the grant funding. That was our local cost share. So we thought we had the funding basically covered, but when the project went out for bids, since prices of construction materials and labor had skyrocketed, the bids came in at over $5 million just for the construction portion of the project. So we were unable to accept those bids. Since then, we have been working with the architect. We have made changes to the building plans to simplify things and hopefully to bring down the costs. And we have been working on fundraising. We have some very supportive donors who really believe in the importance of the new library building. Recently, one has challenged the community to raise $100,000, and if they do that, she will match that with another $100,000. So we're calling it the Believe in the New Library campaign. If we succeed in getting the entire $200,000, then that means we will have raised over $600,000 from the community. People can give in many different ways. We do have a brick and paver program. So if someone gives $100 or more, they can choose to have a brick or paver engraved with their name or in honor of someone or in memory of someone. For major contributions, there are opportunities to name an area of the library. Someone can sponsor a square foot of the library. There are many different ways to give. Donations are made to the Carthage District Library Foundation, and the foundation is a 501c3, so it is a recognized charity, and so that gives people some tax benefits if they want to have a required minimum distribution or something given directly to the library. That can give them some tax benefits. But people can also give online if they want on the foundation's webpage, or just come in and give us a check, or any way they want to give. We greatly appreciate all donations of all sizes.
So what are some words that you would say to people to get them interested in donating to this fundraiser?
So the library is used by the community. We have people who come in regularly, not only to check out books, but to use the computers, to read the newspapers. to print, make copies, fax, to use our workspaces. People do use the library. Our programs are usually very well attended. A library is a vital part of the community, along with a good school system and good medical facilities. All of those things are things that people look at if they're thinking about relocating and choosing a new community. So it's a very important part of the community. And so giving to the library and providing a new facility that will last for many years is a contribution to our community, not only for now, but also for future generations.
Thank you so much for taking time to talk to me about this.
And thank you, Colin, for doing this.
And can you take me around the library to show how outdated it is?
Certainly.
Upstairs, and as you can see, it's not easy for little ones, and of course, or for elderly people. There are several people. It's not easy to go up all of these stairs.
Pictures.
We haven't done anything to the upstairs. It's still all the small rooms that it was in the bank, but we use them to the best of our ability. And so this is one of our program rooms. She often does story time in this room, and then we move over into the other room for crafts. And when we have movie days, we have this too. At our recent Christmas party with Santa, we had like 52 children and 40 adults. So it was very crowded. Santa was trying to read stories downstairs, and it was crowded. We had to break into groups and have stations up here to fit everyone in. And so if we think we're going to have a program with a large audience, sometimes we have to ask if one of the churches will let us hold the program off-site because there's just not room here. But we make the best, we do the best we can with what we have. Okay, and so there are just lots of small rooms up here. There is one restroom that is still working up here. This is where the elevator comes up. This is the room that we use for board meetings and friends meetings. If we're having a large program, we may have one group down here while another one is doing crafts. So we have the small boardroom, but again, if there's a very large meeting, more than 8 people is kind of crowded. We do have a kitchen that we use for our staff break rooms, but we also use it for programs. But it's all of the old green appliances that were here when the bank was here, although we did get a new refrigerator the other day. We have 2 sewing machines that were donated by Illini West High School, and so if members of the public wish to use those, they can make an appointment for a brief class to learn how to use it, and then they can set up a time to come and use the machine.